Hey everyone, it's Icy. I hope everybody is staying happy, healthy, and safe. So, about a month ago, Jan, the head developer of Pokemon Rejuvenation, posted about major updates coming to the game on version 13. And he also gave us a little bit of information saying that the game isn't that far off from sort of being released. So I figured we would talk about that, and I would also share some of the information I know about version 13, mainly stuff just from Jan's YouTube, his Tumblr, and from Discord, and things like that. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and go over this development blog right here. So down here, he starts off by talking about what a big announcement this is, and he mentions how things were starting to look like a 2021 spring and summer release. And he mentions that was just way too long of a wait for them. And after that, he goes on to mention that 2020 has just been a really, really bad year for pretty much everybody. And for the development team of Rejuvenation, that they had like a massive workload. If you don't know, they're doing so many overhauls. We're going to talk about that later, but they're doing a lot of overhauls. It's not just new content coming to the game, but they're actually redoing earlier content, earlier portions of the story. Rejuvenation version 13 is probably something that you're going to want to play over again from the beginning, because there's going to be so many different things at the beginning of the game this time. But because of that, they've decided to temporarily cut content, and they're going to release version 13 in sort of two parts. So there's going to be a version 13.5, and then a few months later, maybe more, they're going to release the full version. So version 13 is going to have the main story content. It's going to have the first layer of Route 4. If you don't remember, Route 4 is actually the route between Akua Town and the Wispy Path, if I remember correctly. Kind of looks like this. I don't know if anybody remembers it, but it is the route. It has all these colorful trees and things like that, so it's actually pretty cool. But aside from that, it's also going to have Anna's quest and a few other minor side quests. So if anybody remembers Anna the robot, that's going to be coming. And they're also going to have Generation 8, not including the downloadable content, so no Isle of Armor or Crown Tundra, unfortunately. But Generation 8 is huge! So that means we're going to have Generation 8 starters like Scorbunny, or Grookey, or Sobble, which are all pretty cool. They're also going to include a compensation gift from the dev team. So they don't really have to do that, but I think they feel really bad that it's been taking so long, and they just kind of want to offer this to anyone who's playing the game and who's stuck around for the long wait, which is really cool of them. Like, they don't have to do that, but they're doing it anyways, which is just really, really nice of them. So version 13 is going to have like the full story, so if you want to play to the end game when version 13 comes out, you can do that no problem. And you can always come back for the side quest and the side content and things like that. Version 13.5 is supposed to have the Crown Tundra, Isle of Armor content. Route 4 should be finished, and they're looking at having a ton of major quests dealing with main characters as well. So that's actually pretty cool. The last words he has on this are basically that when it comes to developing version 14 that comes after this, he doesn't want to have any side quest in development. He basically wants to give the time to these quests right now because that's what he feels they deserve, and he feels they're going to be people's favorites. Quality over quantity, and that is actually fantastic. And of course, he mentions the compensation gift and how he's not going to tell us what it is. I have absolutely no guesses. I haven't found anything whatsoever that hints at what it is. Aside from that though, if you're wondering if there is any estimation on a release time, because he already said in this post that a 2021 spring-summer release was probably too long of a wait for him. However, I found a post on his Tumblr, and it's about a month older than the dev blog update that we're looking at here. And someone basically asked him that when did he think version 13 was going to come out, if it was going to come out by the end of 2020. And in this post he said, "It's not looking likely, sorry. I've been dealing with in real life stuff and haven't worked as much as I wanted to. Probably will get testing started by the end of the year." So I feel like, judging by that information, if we can combine it with the fact that spring and summer is too long of wait, and it's not going to be 2020, so we're probably not going to see it in this month. I'd probably have to say it's probably going to be January or February. Maybe early March? Maybe. So that's just my guess. Now here comes the spoilerish part. So if you're wondering about what might be in version 13, we already know there's going to be a complete overhaul. A lot of the early game is going to just change so much. And during the summer of this year, Jan uploaded this video right here, and it's essentially a video showcasing Golden Leaf Town, changes to the story. I'm probably gonna skip through this, but you can actually notice some major changes. Like, you see that brown-haired girl right there? It's V13. It's a different hairstyle, and it looks like she doesn't have to dye anymore. And you can see this building right here. This is Golden Leaf Town. So it's really, really cool. I'm not gonna play the whole video now because you should probably go watch it yourself. I'll literally link it to you in the description. But it's actually really cool. Let me see if I can find another section where they're outside. Right about there. But you can see so many of the changes if this will load. And it looks like we're going to be playing as Melia in this part as well, which is actually really cool. I think one of the things that version 12, I don't want to say messed up at, but towards the end game you start playing as other characters a lot. But it feels like that concept should have probably been gradually introduced to you. So, from like the start of the game and whatnot. And that seems to be what they're doing here with version 13. Like, you're getting introduced to the concept of playing as other characters, so you don't reach the end game and suddenly you're doing it randomly. So it's really cool. You can see a lot of the differences. It looks really, really good. And again, from what we know, they're redoing the Route 4. There's actually going to be multiple parts to Route 4. Aside from that though, you can also find a little bit more information in the Discord for Rejuvenation. If you don't know, Zumi pops in there sometimes and she'll drop a little bit of information about what's going on, what's going to happen with version 13. So I found some interesting things. For instance, the surge abilities and the moves for those terrains, so like electric terrain, grassy terrain, misty terrain, psychic terrain, and the moves that cause them, as well as the surge abilities, they're getting nerfed. And this is actually for good reason. So they're not going to replace fields anymore. So I think the only time they'll fully change the field is when there's no field effect to begin with. This is actually for good reason. If you don't know, Grookey, the Gen 8 grass starter, it has the ability called Grassy Surge. So basically Grookey would be really, really strong because you could just throw that thing out and it would throw up a grassy terrain instantly over any field. So that's kind of one of the reasons why they're changing it. I think Zumi explains, I can see here, she explains that the current plan is that terrain moves and abilities will not set up full fields, and instead kind of a weather room effect that lasts for a couple turns. And the only time they set up a field is if there's no field active at all. That's actually insane, but I also have more news that I found out. So it's confirmed that the Mega Ring is going to be obtained through the story in version 13. And also, if you're wondering, Generation 8 introduced the Dynamax and the Gigantamax forms, and Gmax forms are going to be introduced as custom Megas. So that's actually really cool. These are a lot of updates. You can honestly understand why version 13 has taken so long to come to us. It's basically been because there are so many updates that they've had to add to the game. And with that, that's basically everything that I have for you at this given moment in time. I know that if you search Jan's Tumblr, or if you search the Discord, you could probably find more information here and there. However, the game is just so close to coming out, that's probably not worth your time right now. I also want to give a friendly reminder. Please do respect the developers. They're giving their time for something that is pretty much non-profit. They're putting their hearts and their soul into it, and they're putting out some very high quality work here. Remember that they are people too, and that things take time, so just be patient with them and make sure to show your gratitude. And with that, that's basically everything that I have to say here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, I hope this helps, and I hope that gives you a better idea of what's coming to us in version 13. And with that, I'll catch you all later. Peace.